Stepsons, in this video I'm going to show you how to fix a leaky faucet. It doesn't run, but it drips. The added moisture lets mildew and crud build up in the bottom. That's how I first realized that I've got a leak. I took a cup and put that under the drain, with the faucet off, and let it sit overnight, and it had that much water in it. So we've got a leaky faucet. We need to fix it. I'm going to show you how to do that now. What I'm after are these two valves right here. I've got the water shut off on these local shutoffs. If your house is older, and it's got to be fairly old by now to not have these, but older plumbing may not have had a local shutoff for your sink. That means you got to go find the water main and shut that off so that you shut off the supply to the faucet. I'm going to want to have this drain plugged when I pull parts off so that if they fall down, they don't go down the drain. Then I'd have to take the P-trap off to get it out. And that's a little bit messier and a little more work. On these, they're just little press fit in this particular faucet, but most of them have something like that. And then if you look down in there, you can see there's just a Phillips screwdriver head. So that just screws till it's all the way loose. You can see I've got a little hex nut here, and then unthread this on both sides. And then I can pull this up. This seal is stopping water, bypass water from coming out the handle and flowing down here. If that's where the leak was, this would be the seal to replace. This is the bottom part, and that little black outline right there is where the seal seats on this. So when I turn it off, it's supposed to stop the flow. But if the seal that pushes against that isn't sealing, then that's the part we've got to replace. And work it up out, and then pull it up. There's a spring on there too, which that's what adds the tension. Let me grab that out. Spring is what forces the seal up against the valve. We'll take these to the hardware store and we'll see if we can find replacement parts for them. The closest I could find were these. They don't list the brand of this faucet, which ironically I got from this hardware store. This visually looks like the closest set that we've got. The spring is kind of a cone shape to it. You put the smaller diameter in the seat, and these are seats and springs is actually the right terminology for these. The larger diameter, that will go down in the hole in the faucet. And so I'm going to do that on each of these sides. And I am getting seepage through this valve. I think my hot valve underneath does not shut off all the way. So I've still got water in here, slowly filling up. Put this on like this as a guide to get it down in the hole. Fill in where that hole is. And then, once it's lined up, I'm going to take that out and just make sure I get it seated where it's supposed to go. It does feel like it's in the right spot. That should be where it goes. Snug this back down. Now this side. Okay. So I tried to take a picture of it. This side is not filling up with water. I actually do have an issue with my shut-off valve on the sink on the bottom for the hot side because it's not completely shutting off. I'm getting bypass flow. This one's staying empty, so it should be easier to put this one in. I'm still using this to line it up, but it's not filling up with water in the meantime, so I can make sure that's in the right spot and then tuck the seat in as well, and now that's in there. So that is now seated, and I'm ready to put this shutoff valve back in. A lot of what you're seeing is going to depend on the model of faucet you've got. That's the orientation it needs to be in. Push that down, tighten the retaining nut, snug it up with the crescent wrench. Okay. You'll see in here how we call that a key. That's kind of a D shape. The flat side on there is what mates with the flat surface here. That's what gives it torque when you torque it down. So I just make sure that goes on there, tighten this back down. You don't want to over torque these, so just kind of finger twist hard Okay, I feel like it's moving, so we hopefully are good there. Should be a good machine thread, so it should turn easily, and when it bottoms out you'll feel it, and then just snug it a little bit. I've got to push back on the handle or open it all the way up and then tighten it down. Okay, all right, so I don't hear water spewing out of the top. That's a good sign. And we're going to see if we have flow for starters, and then we've got to watch it for leaks after. So I'm going to start with the cold. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you saw that. It went dark for a second or two before it ran clear again. Don't get excited when you see that in your water. That's normal. Anytime you break into the plumbing system and then close it up again, it frees up gunk that cleans out when you run it like that. So not a big deal. You're fine to drink this water, not an issue. So it looks like this repair has taken, it's fixed. The real test in this case, since it was a slow leak, is for me to take a cup, put it underneath the faucet, and let it sit there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and see if there's anything that accumulates in the bottom of the cup. Remember, you're never done until you've cleaned up. If you're a young man and you're growing up without your dad and you'd like some advice and encouragement from a dad who grew up without his dad, then I invite you to go to mystepdad.org and check out the Map to Manhood page, or you can go to maptomanhood.org. It's been about an hour. I've checked the cup that I put in the sink, nothing in there. Now you know how to fix a leak in a faucet by replacing the seats and springs. Always remember 2 messages from every video I do. Number 1, you can still succeed even though your dad may not be in your daily life. And number 2, always remember your stepdad loves you. And I'll see you on the next video.